Hello everybody, my name is Jack Rutherford and I'm in 10th grade, and today I'm going to be discussing with you the paradoxes of social media's impacts. How can it be that a social platform is the very thing that pushes us apart from each other? Every single person in this audience, particularly those of us fostered in and who share and dominate the digital space, have heard the notion from those older than us that somehow social media disconnects us. Now, this doesn't really make all that much sense, does it? I mean, it's in the name, social media. How could what is just another medium of communication be the very catalyst of this quote unquote disconnection? And why? Why is it that whenever we speak to each other through a screen, we push each other further and further away? And why is it that authenticity has become such a rare commodity in daily interaction, despite us interacting and socializing more and more than ever? Okay, so behind me is an image of what you would find a standard supercomputer looks like. We have these all over the world in giant warehouses, and yeah, just take a bit to take in this image. And now the next image I'm about to show you, a lot of you might find a bit gross, but heads up, every single person in this audience has one inside of their head. Okay, so there is this analogy a lot of people, previously myself included, have used comparing the human brain to a supercomputer. Now, data from the United States National Institute of Standards and Technology implies that every cranium of every head in this audience contains a city block's worth of computing running off only about 20 watts when awake. A social computing powerhouse unmatched. Your brains are actively reasoning and perceiving the speech I am delivering while running off only about 2% of your household PC's power intake. Yet, your household PC requires a laser the size of a 2-story building just to manufacture one little CPU, whilst to develop our brains, all our brains really ask of us is no more than some food, water, and a world to live and exist in. Now, I just attempted to compare the scale of standard computing to the architecture of our brain, but this comparison and analogy comes at the cost of a crucial understanding. Our brains aren't really computers. Our brains work with the real, the analog, and the nuanced. This is not what a computer is for, and with one, no matter how many warehouses worth of supercomputers you had, you could never truly develop genuine human consciousness with one. Supercomputers are task-executing machines that do as they're told and do not question it, as they do not think. Similarly, neither do eukaryotic cells. The little units of life we are all comprised of, just like simple computers, eukaryotic cells interpret information and act upon it as if they are interpreting code. Where the differences between computers and cells arise is where they seek to serve their purposes. A cell follows its own instructions, following predetermined DNA passed on to it by previous generations of cells. They seek to serve themselves, maintain homeostasis, and reproduce. Considering computers aren't able to fend for themselves, develop themselves, or perform without the loose prompting of a user or developer, immediately separates the simplest life on our planet from the most complex computers in our possession, just in terms of their capability to have subjective experience and stimuli. Okay. So my apologies, guys. Yeah. So I'm still going. Is the phone still on? Yeah. So yeah. The human brain is inexplicably complex, and the computers we use in our day-to-day lives possess so many differences. And every single adult in this audience who was raised purely on sincere, real human interaction and developed critical thinking skills are not necessarily at risk of losing what we deem their authenticity. But the generations that would follow, including mine, would find their minds forcefully reprogrammed in the face of a digital age. I personally find that any medium of interaction, particularly social media, always excludes some dimensions of human expression. The conveyance of ideas is not as simple as a like or a dislike or engagement versus ignorance. Rather, nuance requires dimensions of human understanding which have yet to be properly understood or expressed by a computer program. Yes, so the human mind. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, this is authenticity at work. I'm forgetting right here, but yeah. No. Yes, so the deliberate curation of a polarizing, one-sided linear relationship of the world has done no more for our generation than erode what was previously considered a crucial skill for older generations, that being critical thinking skills. Us youth rarely dare hold opinions that contain much forms of nuance at all, and we rarely dare express opinions to the point of depth in which they stand out from what we deem acceptable. There can only be a like, a dislike, a 1, a 0, a right, or a wrong. Again, the deliberate curation of a polarizing, one-sided, linear relationship with the world does no more than disconnect us from each other, despite the internet's constant advertisement as a social tool. So, yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, sir. Yeah. Our brains are not computers, but rather networks that, in order to function within society, require numerous streams of human dimension in order to function. Streams of nuance, emotion, and depth, which allow us to express more than just ideas, but the messy gray areas that make us more than just machines. The internet is but a faulty translation of the human psyche, and although it can be used as a connection between one another, it is the very disregard for what makes human thought special and unique that truly disconnects us from one another. Thank you.